I want to thank Elon Musk because I believe by him buying Twitter and making it go this much more right, he has pulled IG, he has pulled TikTok a little bit more to the center. That's my opinion because let me tell you now, I can get away with a lot of stuff now on IG. I probably would have got suspended for 2 years ago. And the only obvious common denominator is Elon Musk.
I agree. You guys know the cycle of strife, right? Cycle of strife, good times create weak men.
Yes,
weak
yes,
men. Okay.
yes, yes.
I believe Gen Z are the strong men created by the bad times.
Generation Z.
I do. Because I think
Like 25% of these guys consider themselves homosexual.
I get that, but
Sorry, that's
I get that. 25%. So the other 75%,
They're going to be dogs. They're going to be...
these are the fucking Rottweilers
Really?
that are gonna get us out of this. They're gonna build the tech that's gonna evacuate people like us who are getting our bank account shut down. Because these guys are all fucking, they're all experimental. They're fucking throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. They're the crypto kids. There's the social media kids. They are going to build the decentralized banking system, 100% Gen Z, that helps you and me out.
Maybe there's a Steve Jobs. Maybe there's a Steve Wozniak within Generation Z.
Right now.
You know, right
They're
now.
watching this
who are
podcast.
watching, and they're going to build something, and they'll make you look like you're basically $1 million right now because you're saying what it is.
I'm going to look like Nostradamus.
But most of these guys are soft as fucking hell. Dana White said it best. He said, if your kid is even a little bit of a savage, he's going to run through these fucking beta males like never before because there's never been more single mothers than there is right now.
100%.
They're going to run through them. So yes, the divide between the alpha and the beta is getting woo, and that's when society breaks. You need this bottom half to have women.
Yeah.
You need the bottom half to have women, to have kids, so they can basically keep society going. The people who don't like mass immigration, the people who say shut down the borders, well, women have to have kids.
Yeah,
you have to, once women don't have kids, and what I mean by don't have kids is having abortions every 9 months and stuff like that. Once women don't have kids, all of a sudden you have two choices. You either let the borders open, you let the immigrants in to fill in that vacuum, to buy into the tax system, or you do like Japan. You know you're going to have an older demographic, you just shut down immigration, don't let anyone in, and slowly but surely your society collapses. That's what's going to happen.
100%.
You got one of two choices.
So I'm an accelerationist. I 100% am all for this whole gender wildness because I truly do believe that all of these fat feminists with lurid blue hair, pierced nipples, doing crazy shit, I think it's a cry for help. I know for a fact it's a cry for help. And what I think is going to happen is we're in a correction phase. Things are going to get so accelerated and so out of control that these women are essentially, because they can't say this verbally, right? But they can communicate it in subtext through their behavior, through the fucking, you know what apostematism is?
Mm-hmm.
Like poisonous frogs in the rainforest, they're fucking lurid bright colors to show you they're poisonous. Mm-hmm. Well, that's why these chicks dye their hair and get all tatted. They're telling you how poisonous they are, right?
Why would they do that?
Because it's like they're wearing their trauma, right? They're embroidering their trauma on their body. It's like a way of like,
they're seeking help.
Well, resting bitch face.
They're basically seeking help.
100%. It's a cry for help. So my point is, in this accelerated,
Who's going to save them though?
Well, that's my point. It's all going to crash and burn, and then what's going to spawn out of this is in a new iron guard of men who are going to come in with an iron fist, probably covered in a velvet glove, and they're going to fucking smash all of this shit to a billion little pieces, and it's going to have to be rebuilt. And then every order is going to be restored. Because at this rate, you can't fix this. We're too deep in now. This is not a reversible thing.
I agree.
We can only go forward, right? It's a forward escape, as the French say. You cannot go backwards. You got to escape forward. So we got to run this bitch into the ground, ride the decline. And then that new iron guard of men, the most masculine force of men you have ever fucking seen, are about to be birthed and spawned. And they're going to blossom, and they are going to annihilate this whole feminist thing. But it's what the feminists want. They want fucking a strong, powerful force to come in and obliterate.
I agree, but the only strong, powerful force I see right now, and anyone can correct me if they think I'm wrong, Muslim men. That is the only strong force I see that's not capitulating.
Yeah, well,
and again, I'm not Muslim. I'm never gonna pray to Allah. Sorry, brother. But I'm just stating fact.
You can give me
You have two choices right now. You either go to the LGBT or you go to the Muslims. It's that simple.
It's because they infiltrated the churches in the 1900s because they realized they could have more power and influence. The non-denominational Christian churches got it the worst. But
who allowed that to happen, though?
Who allowed what to happen? Well, I mean, I would say it was a small... I can't remember which family it was. I'd have to remember the writing, but it was basically a small percentage of like families that had a lot of money because in the Industrial Revolution that was like when there was the biggest wealth gap, and so they realized the best way to influence the population was through the churches because people listened to the churches. So the non-denominational churches got it the worst, but they also started funding like seminaries. That's where we got all the gay priests from.
I get it, but they tried the same stuff with Islam. It didn't work as well.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's what I'm trying to say. They allowed that to happen. Like, for instance, if you go to Christians in Russia, Poland, Romania, you try to talk shit about Jesus or all this other stuff, you're probably going to get your ass whooped. You do that in America, they don't give a damn. You can make fun of Jesus. You can do whatever you want here in America.
Yeah.
They're not going to, but in those countries, they actually still care because they haven't been corrupted. And I'm going to tell you why. In Poland, in Russia, in all those countries, feminism is very, very low. Once you have see the people who are low IQ, in my opinion, they need something to believe in. They need something to fear.
I just wonder, and I'm not going to say this definitively, but I kind of wonder if it's coming to the Muslims too and to Russia too, because like even like my employees that work for me that are African, they're all saying like, 'cause I always figured like it was a little better there, but they're like, no, the young women are just the same. And then I watched like an interview in Russia of them interviewing like young women about feminism and pay equality, and it's still coming because social media, unless they ban social media, all women are so influenced by social media.
Putin passed a law a couple years where he repealed domestic violence laws. So I don't really think that that feminism. Maybe what you're talking about is they're all still in the first wave of feminism, which had some merit. The first wave had a little bit of merit.
No, they were.
You don't think they had any merit whatsoever?
Not really. No, I think that they were like women didn't even like them back then. If you read the anti-suffragettes had more supporters than the suffragettes. Like they were regarded as like weirdos in the 1800s. Women didn't even like these women. Like there was a writing, I can't remember the lady's name, but in the 1800s talking about how they had to like sell this better to women because women had too good of lives back then. For them to sell them on feminism. That's why, like, I don't think it really had merit. I think women, most of history, have had better lives than men.
I think that, listen, I'm a numerologist. I believe in that wholeheartedly. And even though I think women as a whole are much less intelligent than men, there's the number 7. And, 7 is the number of the genius. And when I look at women who are born in the 7th, 16th, 25th, they're just as intelligent as men. Well, and again, it's a rare exception. Like, for instance, there's not many female bodybuilders in the world. So they're stronger than most average men, but a male bodybuilder is always going to be stronger than a female. So there is some exceptions, but they're rare.
But it's a misconception that women couldn't be influential in society. The first female property owner in the United States was in the 1600s, 400 years ago. Like women were not oppressed then; they're not oppressed now. This idea, like the first female millionaire was late 1800s, and I think there's arguably one quicker. But I don't want to quote that.
Does she get her money from a divorced husband?
No, well,
inherited.
I think there was a self-made one quicker, but there was one of the first feminists that was funding all this stuff. Like she was like the first rich divorcee. It was in the 1800s. I wish I could remember all these names off the top of my head.
My question is, why should there be an issue of feminism? If you're a woman, you're a woman.
Yeah.
You're a man, You're a man. What's all this feminism and so forth? I don't understand it. I don't get
Well,
it.
I think that
It's
evil.
to destroy society.
I think that evil happens when you disrupt the natural order of the world. And it's weird. I'm not like crazy religious, but I guess this is like a religious like thought. But it's like I think the natural order is God, men, women. And I think it's really interesting how we can like I don't know, almost say our true feelings about things just in our language. Like if you tell a man he's acting like a woman, that's an insult. Why would it be an insult? Because women are below men. But but a woman that acts like a man almost like can make money and almost. I mean, I don't want to say.
I think you're going to get like 10,000 marriage proposals right after this podcast.
Well, and I'm
She's
not
saying all the good things.
Well, and I'm not even saying like I do it perfectly, but I think evil happens when you confuse everyone on the natural order of the world, and I think it's confusing. Like I'll give you an example. Like I spent the first half of my 20s trying to be a volleyball player, and really I spent my primary reproductive years chasing after a career that makes $0, and it actually I looked into it. It actually messes up your hormones and makes you more masculine. That's why you see so many lesbian like soccer chicks and lesbian basketball chicks. It literally makes you more masculine and makes you into a man. And so it's like I think a lot of times all of these institutions.
You don't think
are
women
here.
should be athletes?
I have a hard, I don't know, because I really did love it. I really loved playing, but I do think sometimes like things that maybe as a whole, like I see what happens in volleyball, and really like it's run by a lot of feminists, and really like you play until you're 32 and then you retire. You know what I mean? Like if you take volleyball to the extreme,
stuff like that.
yeah, like it's sad because I really do love the sport, but if I look at the outcomes for a lot of women that play, they're not good, and it's like I think there's just a lot of institutions that are confusing us on the natural order of the world and trying to make women like that is a masculine thing. That's turning a woman into a man.
By the way, I sincerely believe all women will get their best natural physique just from walking. There is nothing inside a gym that will improve a woman's physique more than walking. 10,000 steps a day.
What about running?
Same thing.
Okay, just making sure.
But the gym culture in women is very bizarre to me.
Are most of the women who go to the gym pretty much every day hoes?
100%.
All right, so I mean, they're basically looking for a new hookup every single day.
If you spend all your time at the gym and you're a woman, who's taking care of the children?
I mean, that's a good question.